Hello guys, welcome back to my channel again, Karna XR Gaming Productions. So this is the continuation of a previous video or extension of a previous video. If you haven't watched previous video, please go and watch the previous video. The link is in the description. So today we are going to dive in some mathematical concepts which are useful for our programming and understanding how to program a CPU as a single player. Okay, so let's dive into the video. Okay guys, so today we are going to talk something about basics of, so let's discuss some basic mathematical concepts. So the first concept which I want to discuss is vectors. Okay, so vectors are nothing but they have direction and magnitude. Let me say that there is a vector something like this, where this is x1 comma y1 comma z1. Okay, x1 y1 z1 are the position coordinates of this particular point. Let me say this is O and this is A, where this is x2 comma y2 comma z2. Okay, so the direction of this one is something, let me say this is generally this will be represented as D. Okay, so this is a vector. So the magnitude comes out to be magnitude of D, which is equal to under root of delta x square plus delta y square plus delta z square. Okay, or you can simply write it as magnitude of D bar is equal to under root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square plus z2 minus z1 whole square. So this gives the distance between these 2 points. Okay, and the unit vector in this particular direction. Okay, you can write unit vector equal to d bar by mod d. This is a unit vector in this direction. This is also called as normalized vector. We'll see what is this normalized vector still in detail. Okay, this is the basics of vector. Now how we are going to use these particular vectors in our carom, or you can say pool, anything of this particular pattern of games. Now assume that I have a carom board like this. Okay, I am not drawing it to a scale, just I am drawing roughly. Okay, now these are the holes. Now to know where is the coin, generally let me assume that coin can be anywhere inside the board. So I am putting somewhere randomly here. This is a coin. Let me say this is a coin, and the striker position will be fixed somewhere here. Okay, so I assume this is a striker. Okay, let me change the color. Yeah, this is a striker. Okay, now to hit this coin you need to use some vector algebra. How? We'll see. So generally here the striker has to, let us assume that we are aiming to this particular hole. Okay, let me retry it. Let us assume that we are aiming to this particular hole. Then the striker has to come something like this. So let us say striker final position is something here, and you have to send the striker from here. Okay, it's not straight, I know that. Okay, let me redraw this. So the striker final position has to come somewhere here. Okay, assume this is a striker. I know I am very bad at drawing. And the force between these, the angle between these two must be less than 90 degrees. Theta. Okay, so if theta is equal to 90 degrees, you can say, then nothing will happen. In the sense, cos theta will be 0, which implies, let me say, the force F is here. Okay, so the component of this one is F cos theta. So if theta is 90, this force F will be 0. So force acting on the strike on the coin by striker is F cos theta Newton. Now, if theta equal to 90, which involves a force acting on the coin by the striker, will be cos 90 is 0. So this is cos 90, not cos 0. Okay. Sorry. This is cos 90. Cos 90 is nothing but 0. This is equal to 0. So the first thing which we need to know is theta always has to be from 0 to 90. Okay, but yes, in unity we can get angle from 0 to 180. We will discuss it later. Okay, in unity regarding unity. So this is how we are going to use vector algebra in our game. This is also possible even in pool also, that the cue ball will be somewhere else and the stripe or solid will be somewhere else, and you can hit in any particular hole you want. Okay. Anyway, I will generalize at the end. I will also generalize how to use this particular concepts in pool, playing a 8-ball pool or something else like that. Okay. So here, first thing is we have to know this. There are two possible conditions where you can hit this coin. The first thing is, there has to be no obstacle due in this particular vector, or if let us assume that there could be some other coin. There could be some other coin. Let me say, if there is a coin, other coin here, then there will be an obstacle, so that you can't hit this coin in this direction. Okay, so you have to choose again some other particular direction to hit this coin. Perhaps you can place the new path of the striker will be somewhere here. Okay, let me assume that this. Let me assume this is a striker position, and let us assume the striker is somewhere here. You can place somewhere here, and from here, if you want to aim this hole, this particular hole, let me say, if you want to aim this particular hole, then you have to send striker from here. Sorry, this has to be straight. Okay, like this. Okay, so you have to check two conditions, that there has to be no obstacle from coin to the selected hole and also striker to the selected point. Okay, so let me write this one, that the first condition which is required is there has to be no blockage, or you can say no interruption or you can say no other game object. Instead of writing interruption on that, there has to be no game object like this. Okay. There has to be no object, okay, in between coin and selected hole, This is the first condition which has to be met. The second condition is there has to be no object in between striker and selected coin, or you can say target coin, or you can say target coin. So these two are the basic things that has to be required. So we need to calculate our angle, and also we need to check these conditions, these two conditions, then only we can go ahead. So before going that, we need to also check that whether the angle theta, this angle theta, has to be always the first condition. Priormost condition is angle has to be between 0 and 90. So the highest priority is given for theta equal to 0. What happens if theta equal to 0? Let me draw that one. Okay, what happens if theta equal to 0? Let me tell a simple example. Okay, this is a coin. Let me say this is the hole, and this is the coin which has to be hit, and striker will be. Okay, let us assume this is the coin and this is the striker somewhere here. This is the striker. Okay, actually striker should be somewhat larger, so I am drawing like this. So if theta equal to 0, which means that the angle between two unit vectors, the angle between these two vectors, this vector and this vector, is almost theta is equal to 0. Means it is a sure coin where you can directly hit into the hole. Okay, so that's why our highest priority is theta equal to 0. Okay, so our least priority will be, it depends on your own personal choice of interest. So I generally take least priority is for theta equal to 80 degrees, because for exactly 90 you can directly go for 90, but generally I always prefer 80, because more than 80 the f cos theta is so much minimum, so that you can easily, the force applicable by the striker on the coin is almost negligible, and that is not possible for a coin to move to a hole. Okay, so these are the basic conditions which has to be met while designing CPU. So how to do this one? Okay, we will discuss in the next video. Okay.